Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. Our guest today provides Instagram training for business owners. She is proud that she started her business when she was working at a local nonprofit in her hometown, where she grew her Instagram following from 18,000 followers to 500,000 followers in under a month, and surpassed her fundraising goal. She quickly realized that she was great at that and had to find a way to harness those skills and build a business out of it. A year later, her business, Meraki, has coached over 35 women business owners, managed 7 business Instagram accounts, and teaches real strategies that can actually gain business owners more clients through Instagram. Her superpower is relating to people. She loves to communicate with others, and she can share anything from video strategies, content creation, business insight breakdown, Reels advice, and brainstorming. So welcome to the show, Caitlin Durning at Meraki Media Management.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Same here. I have so many Instagram questions for you. Like, what can a business owner or a beauty entrepreneur do? But before we jump right in, let's hear about what you do and kind of how you got started. I know I did a little intro, but kind of can you share with us like your journey up to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to school, I graduated right out of school at JMU, and I moved back home. I'm from the greater Philly area. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with my life? So I ended up working for the local nonprofit, and that's when I had this significant amount of growth. Yeah. And we also raised a lot of money for a great cause. So It was really interesting at first, I've never been an Instagram influencer. I never knew anything about it. I didn't even think that you really make real money off of Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, this is just a social media app.
Exactly. I was totally skeptical, but I just went for it. And I did a lot of research around the Ice Bucket Challenge, which really helped me craft the model that we made for the nonprofit that I was working for. So a lot of the research really helped me develop that campaign. And I kind of like, okay, great. If I can research this, well, maybe I can research a lot about business and also see if this is an avenue that I would be willing to take the leap of faith for. And that's kind of exactly what happened. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, and at the time he was still living. So it gave me that extra little push I needed to get out the door, because it's so difficult to take this leap, as we know. And so when I first decided to go for it, I ended up traveling across Europe for a couple weeks with my boyfriend. And when I came back, my mom had, to spread the word for me, as most Italian moms do, telling everybody about the success with the nonprofit and how much money we raised. And I ended up getting a client through just her talking to some people.
Yeah, mom's the best salesperson here.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I came back, I had clients already waiting for me. So that was really like, it's time to go get the LLC. It's time to take and go for it. So.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit more on the fundraising part? Like when you first started, like what was that like? Did you have did you have some experience with Instagram when you first started, helping the fundraise, the nonprofit, or was it more of like, okay, I have some idea, there was already someone doing it, and they kind of like gave you some insight to get started, and then, what was it like when you first started?
Yeah, this is a great question. Yeah, because it really does show like the nonprofit was very small. So, we were a team of, I want to say 8 people outside of the family. So it was very tiny. We did have a full-time social manager, and she was amazing at her job. But since I was given this new campaign, it was like I was lead, they were kind of looking to me as this younger public relations background. I have also a minor in writing. So
nice. That helps.
I kind of have that like persuasion, I guess, which is a terrible excuse, but that's the best way to describe marketing when I'm trying to explain this. So with the fundraiser, when I was ready to take it and really launch it, they were basically like, go for it. If you believe in it and you think you can do this. Months prior, we had done prep reaching out to these really niche target audiences that would be fundraising for us, which obviously helped the campaign grow over time once we launched the giveaway. But it was very grassroots. Like I said, never an Instagram influencer. I did some of it in college, but nothing to this capacity.
Yeah. I mean, the jump from 18,000 to 500,000, like that's insane. So you mentioned it was like a giveaway. That was one of the big drivers. So what exactly were you giving away?
Yeah, great question. So we were giving away a Lululemon bag. So a significant, significant real thing that was worth a lot of money. You know, like most of them were like a couple $100. It's upwards of, $500. So that really got it going. But I have to say, probably the pivotal moment was developing the relationships with the industry leaders in that specific niche target market that was going to be fundraising for us. So I had developed these relationships with the help of, obviously, of the nonprofit, with these leading industry people to help us spread the word about the giveaway. And then it really just started to trickle down from there. I mean, people all over the world were coming out of the woodwork, like Irish rugby players, people from Sweden. It was like crazy. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, so were you reaching out to like, were they individuals, were they like big influencers, or were they like big brands that was helping you share the word? Like, what was that?
Yeah, so their target market was athletes specifically. So it was very much so athletes that were quote unquote leading the industry in that niche market. But the one thing that I can say for beauty professionals to kind of bring it back into this sector is if you can work with even some micro influencers, like some of these lady athletes, they were fantastic. You know, they have so many followers, but some of them only had, maybe 9,000, maybe 10,000 at the time. And the giveaway actually helped them grow more of a following after, just because so many people were reading about the topics that we were putting out there. Like the amount of website clicks that we got on the insights were like over 200,000 website
clicks. Yeah, it's funny. Like you probably see this chart and all of a sudden the spike from Instagram, right?
Yes, it was like 12 million people were on the top of our reach. And I remembered as being on such a small team, I couldn't even handle the amount of growth, which is why I kind of started Meraki to be able to really harness the growth, because who can harness that amount of people coming in?
It's
impossible.
Now we're at that point, like what was, so the objective was, during the campaign, was it like to highlight this Lululemon bag and say, all right, you can win this bag? And what did the person have to do to win the bag?
Yeah, so this is kind of where it comes back to like the Ice Bucket Challenge and like growing up in that time and really understanding that campaign. And that really took off. Like that in my childhood, that was like the thing to do. So that's kind of why I pivoted back to that, just because it's a similar market. And what they ended up doing, I had the young ladies launch the tagging campaign. So they would tag like 3 of their girlfriends to then tag 3 of their girlfriends to spread awareness. Now, this whole portion of the campaign, since we were the first month in, was just to get fundraisers. So we weren't even trying to raise any money yet, but we ended up just raising money because of how many people we touched.
Oh, wow. So so it's a side effect, a positive side effect to it. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Now, I guess, what can you kind of give us an example? What did some of the posts like? What did some of the posts look like, or what did it talk about, or did you ask others to share? Like, so would it say like, so just similar to the Ice Bucket Challenge, like you do the video with Ice Bucket Challenge, and then you tag someone else, right? And then kind of keeps going. So did you follow, like, did you also do an Ice Bucket Challenge? Did you do something else? Did you like, do 20 push-ups and then tag someone else? Like, what was that like?
It was actually just a photo of them playing whatever sport they play. So I think that's why it helped, because
it's a lot easier.
Exactly. They're on their phone. They're like, oh, this is so cool. You know, maybe this
Yeah.
foundation is going to re-tag me on their story.
Yeah.
And that's what I did in the very beginning to drive the campaign. I would
Mm.
screenshot these young kids' accounts because I know that it's going to like amp them up, you know, get them all excited. So I would
Yeah.
screenshot them and then actually tag them. So
Yeah.
they would really feel good about themselves. And then they want to redo it again and they want to tag, you know, 6 more friends.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what really ended up, I think, fueling it to that capacity where we reached
Nice.
so many more people. Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, okay. That's very, very interesting. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So now, okay. So after doing this, that's when you started Meraki. Now, can you tell us about the journey there, like building up your Meraki business?
Yes, yeah. So obviously, you know, this has been a crazy year, but as I mentioned, I've been very fortunate to have clients that have been able to, you know, really support us along the way. And we have a loyal community, which is so great. So when I first came back, I had these clients waiting for me, which were Dermamed Solutions. If some of you are familiar with them, I work closely with them. And my mom actually works for them too. So that was how they heard about me, which is kind of funny. It was funny. We got to work together for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. So when I came back and I was working with these beauty individuals, I really got to understand the beauty industry more so than I had even with my mom being an esthetician my whole life. I already kind of had that background. So I really did target. Yeah, exactly. I did kind of start to gravitate towards that audience just based off of, you know, knowing their rhetoric and the things that they say and all of that. So that was kind of where things started to really take off. And then as I just went through, it was like networking on the ground, grassroots, you know, becoming that industry leader, putting myself out there locally really, really helped me. And even now I see some of those people come back, you know, just from like networking because they need social support now. So
yeah, especially now, it's hard to even meet with someone in person. So online is really the main platform.
Yeah, like now more than ever. So it's actually helped my business, unfortunately, in the worst possible way it is to say that, but it's been great for me to really help other business owners.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way I would look at it too. It's like, you know, you know, you were able to get the benefits of your business because of the situation, but it's like you have this superpower, you have this ability to help others, you know, get through this. So, you know, this is the best time to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
it's really, go ahead.
no, it's not good. So can you tell us some of your, you know, like you mentioned, you know, Dermamed Solution, you mentioned, you know, some of the, you know, beauty businesses when we were off air, some of the beauty businesses that you helped out. So can you give us some like some examples of like what you've done for them and what has really worked really well?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question. So when I first got these accounts, obviously I had only done one big growth. So it was well, what the heck do I do now?
Oh man, now you're like, your expectation, everyone else's expectations like here, right? Like, okay, we need you to do this. You have 15,000 followers. Now hit it, get to 500,000.
Exactly. And like we're all human, you know, so most people like that, it's like normal. So I right off the bat had to really be honest, and I was like, you know, that was a terrific growth. Like, yes, we could probably recreate that, but it's not going to happen overnight. You know, we need to get in there, we need to feel the brand out, we need to redesign, we need to really make it feel like a brand online for these small businesses, because as a small business, it's very hard sometimes to make it come across because we're not all graphic designers. So that's exactly what I stepped in. I started taking product photos for them. I started going in, recording facials, giving real tangible results. Came down to me really connecting with their ideal client, which had completely changed my mind around Instagram, because even before I was doing that, but it didn't feel like I was doing that. So now I was putting these pieces together and also speaking with upper management about messaging for these specific clients and how to just really relationship build. Because when it comes down to Instagram, if you're going in to expect a sale, you're probably not going to get it, because it's going to come across like that, you know?
I've seen some posts, it's like so direct, like their whole like feed is like, buy this, buy that. I'm like, okay, well, it's just bombarding me. It's just like a big sales pitch, right?
Yes.
It's a little too overwhelming. So I guess on that note, what would you recommend? So you mentioned, okay, build that relationship. So that's great. I mean, we understand how important building a relationship is. Well, what does that mean in building a relationship on Instagram?
Right, in the online space. So I like to say always offer free value. You know, if you come looking at your page as a place and a resource for clients to come and ask you real questions about their skin, you know, if they're opening up to you online about issues that they're having, you know that you've done something well, you know, like if they're really they trust you now, you've built that trust. So a lot of the times the free value and kind of spreading your education comes first, so that they know that they can trust what you're saying, you know, on the DM side.
Yep. So when you say, okay, sharing your education, what I guess type of content would be the best? Would be, you know, okay, obviously if they're DMing you, then yeah, you can respond via DM, but then there's like, you know, should you do more videos? Should you do like photos, you know, images? Should you do like stories? Should you do like live video? Like, or there's what, IGTV? Like there's so many options. Like what should a business owner do to provide value and education?
Yeah, this is a great question too, because it does kind of come down to how much time do you have to spend, you know, because if you could give all the free value in the world, then it wouldn't even be important to have a business, you know, then we wouldn't even make money. So I like to say, you know, giving them enough information so that they know that they can trust you. So maybe you break down one ingredient that you specifically use in your facial session, or explain a little bit of lymphatic drainage. So by the time they come to your next appointment, they feel like they've kept up with things, you know, what can they do to make your life easier? And also explain to them why they have to keep up with this at home, or why they should continue this at home. And I think videos are really the best way to do something like that.
Nice. So videos, is there a preference between regular videos to live videos, live streams?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to do a live, I think that it's important that you kind of let people know, or like reoccur your lives, so that they know they can come on and ask you a question.
Okay.
So
it's like a weekly episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes if we're just like, oh, you know, one day out of the month, we expect everybody to read our email, everybody to read that like one post that we put out. And that's never enough. You know, you always have to overly extend, which in the campaign I learned too, it was like overly educating about the nonprofit, about what we were doing. Almost like too much, where you do feel salesy, but you're offering them something for free. So you're not being salesy.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes the algorithm doesn't show it to the same person multiple times. So you gotta keep pushing it. And also from a sales side, what I've learned, I forgot the exact number. I think it was like over 7 or 8. And I would say, like, if you're trying to do a sale, you want to have like at least 8, even up to 11 touch points, from like the first time they see your ad to like watching your videos to getting an email from you. So all these are touch points, right? So I completely agree with you. Sometimes, like, and the reason why I'm explaining this, because the entrepreneurs, the business owners that I've talked to, they're afraid of like, oh man, am I too noisy, or am I too overwhelming? It's like, it's in some aspects, you know, it's a little different than going to a cocktail party and just repeating your same message over and over again. But if you focus on the message of what you just said, you're sharing knowledge, you know, and they actually want that knowledge, right? It's a good fit. Then just do that all day long.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many, like with beauty, the beauty industry, for example, you could even just pick like one topic for the week, which is what we do. So for example, with Dermamed, maybe we're breaking down one type of facial and we go through each day. Okay, these are the products that we use. This is why this machine is structured like this. This is the price of the machine, like all of it out there. So everybody has the information, you know? And that's really helpful too for business owners, because then when you're sitting down on Wednesday to quickly craft a post, you already know, okay, I'm breaking down facial number 7 or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, do you have any other tips or pointers for the beautypreneurs?
Yes. So one thing that's huge on Instagram right now is location. And I have seen a lot of beauty professionals not using location nearly enough. So every time you tag your location on Facebook too, because remember, they're all connected. So normally it helps you somewhere, it will help you in the long area somewhere else as well. But yeah, location on hashtags, on your story, everywhere, especially right now with what we're dealing with. We're all in the online space. When we get off the online space a little bit, location's going to be a huge thing again, you know, because everybody's going to reconnect and maybe even go see their spa owner, and your location so because you are brick and mortar, you know?
Yeah. And this is, you would say this is mainly for the brick and mortars, right? Mainly for like the service type industries that they need clients to go in, you know, for service, or they're selling a product, but it's also local. Now, if they're a 100% online business only, then location wouldn't really matter, or would it?
So yeah, like this is another great question. You know, it's kind of goes back to what I'll always ask myself is, do I want to be a local industry leader? Like most of the time I have to be a local industry leader before I can be a national industry leader. So if you haven't fully saturated your local market, then I would definitely include those hashtags. But if you feel like you've absolutely saturated your local market, then go into your business insights, look at the other locations that are connecting with your content and start tagging those locations as well. Because if those people are already connecting with your content, they're like the low-hanging fruit. So go after them.
Yeah. So speaking of business insights, so like that it's important to convert or have a business version of your Instagram account, right? And then there's this thing called verified. How important is that?
Yeah, so I'm a skeptic of the verified too. I have to say, I am all about real tangible results. Like I'm so research driven. So if I see money coming in, I feel like I've already had the blue check because I know several people that probably have a blue check that haven't made any money off of Instagram. You know, like let's be kind of honest. Some people have a very large account and they've never converted a sale. They've never, you know, really related to a client. So it's really about those real followers that are actually connecting. And sometimes with the blue check, people will just follow you because you have a blue check. So to me, they seem like outliers, you know, and they're just going to skew your data a little bit more. But if you're to the point where you can get the blue check, you know, go for it, because it's a great thing to have on your account, honestly.
Nice. And so the one interesting that you mentioned, okay, having real followers. So I've seen some services where they offer, hey, we're going to get you all these followers, you know, on your Instagram account. Is it worth it? What's your take on that?
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you guys a little quick background story to all of this. So when I first started Meraki, I come back home. My mom's like, you have clients. I'm like, what am I going to do? I have no clue. My Instagram is like crap because the nonprofit account was the one that I grew, you know, I'm like, I have 0 followers on my Meraki Media account. So I was feeling the same type of way, and it's all like a limiting belief, and it goes back to all of that, you know, connecting your success to the amount of followers that you have, which is just not true at all. But I did end up buying them because I also wanted to see if this works, then why do I even have a job? You know,
Right.
You can just pay somebody else to get these followers. So I really did want to test it as well. And I found found that it was the worst decision that I made for my account.
Okay, why is that?
All that it does is skew your insights.
Yep.
All of those accounts that they normally get you are dead bot accounts. So they never engage. They're not your ideal client. They're never going to purchase from you, you know?
Yeah. So moral of the story is, you know, good old fashioned hard work beats, you know, trying to cut corners and just buying accounts. Like in some ways, I mean, like if you're gonna spend the money, I mean, personally, I would hire a Instagram professional to help you, right? Rather than just buy a bunch of followers. So I could probably already guess your answer, but I just want to re-emphasize how important this is, because it's it's so attractive to like, oh yeah, I can just buy all these followers and make myself look awesome and amazing. But you want to think about, this is your business, right? A business is a marathon. So it's a long game. So you're going to mess up your, like you said, your analytics, your stats in the future. And here's another point too, like I can only assume they're an algorithm. So if you have a big group of followers that are fake, now the algorithm's going to be sharing your posts to these fake accounts. So you're missing out on the good accounts, the followers that are truly trying to follow you and look at your content, right?
Yeah, that's so true. And especially with all of these new things coming out, so many people are online more, you know, much more content is out there than ever before. So those eyeballs are more important now than ever. Like one set of eyeballs can mean so much more, you know, for a business owner. Even speaking from my experience, even when we had 500 followers, like we were signing clients through Instagram. So if you do buy the followers, then of course you won't be there because they're just fake, you know, you can't sell to them at all. So
yeah, exactly. Now, is there any type of content that helps with creating more engagement, right? More engagement means more shares and more spread of your content, and pretty much like they're gonna see your brand a little bit more. So what are some of the content that you've seen works really well for high engagement?
Yeah, okay, this is great. So one thing that you can do to all of your posts right now, which should be on every post that you're putting out there forever and never and ever, is a call to action. You have to have a call to action. If you don't go in with intention, then what's the point of you spending this time? So, you know, call to action can be click the link in your bio, send me a direct message, save this for later, share this with your team, share this with your friends, share this to your story. So many ways you can, you know,
So sometimes you have to actually remind the person that's viewing it in the message, like, hey, do this, do that, right? Because they don't think about it.
Exactly. Like if this resonated with you, please share this to your story. That would mean so much to me. Like coming at it from really a place of service because you're offering free value anyways. So why wouldn't they share it? Because it's free for everybody. So it's free education, all of that. So that's really when I see the best engagement. People will actually ask a lot more questions because I'm more open to them asking questions and coming to me with concerns. But the other piece that I can say, which will have amazing engagement for you, is if you're not utilizing your Instagram stories. So even just those little click buttons can up your engagement like no tomorrow. So the more you use them, you can also put hashtags on your stories. You can put up to 10 hashtags on your stories. So utilize those local hashtags and start polling your community. You know, what are you looking from me? What type of education do you want? And really give them like A, B, C, and D. Don't use the open-ended because we all get there and then we're like, we don't know what to say.
Okay. So really the most important thing is getting clarity in the content and having a clear action and basically don't ask vague questions.
Very like, you know, send me a message if you are struggling with X skin problem. You know, if you're struggling with maskne, send me a message because I have something that I can share with you for free right now, you know, something like that.
Nice.
Like that's really going to incline them to actually message you, not just even like your photo. They might even save it for later because their daughter at home's really struggling with maskne. So many different things that they can do. Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, so you make a post, you say, if you're struggling with this, so this is pretty much the formula. You're struggling with this, I can help you. Call to action, DM me or whatnot. I can share this with you. And then when they DM you, would you share them like an email or what would be your follow-up? Would you share like a page for them to go to, maybe a PDF? I don't know, like what would you share?
Yeah. So it basically comes down to your motive for that month, or what's your goal? Is your goal to grow your email list? Is your goal to get more followers and actually retain them and have a real relationship with them? So if it was me, I would probably just send them a quick voice message explaining the tip so that it feels really personalized. And I might even follow up with a question like, where are you from? Are you local? Is there a time when we might be able to help you? Just really continuing that conversation, but not also like, do you need my service?
Yeah. So really during the whole journey, you're not really asking, hey, do you need my service? Because they already know, right? They already know what you do. It's on your profile. So there will be a point. Now, will there ever be a point where you're that direct? Like, would you like to utilize our service to help you? Like, where in that journey, if so?
Yes. Yeah. So I like to say this specifically for beauty professionals or esthetician spa owners. Anytime you're having a sale, a discount, that is when you're like, do you need this service? Because now's the time for you to get it. This is why we have this sale. You get the most amount of people. So that would be a more direct sale for them, because most of your community is already waiting for you to launch a sale.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you ever worry about now over time, you're pretty much training your community to say, all right, wait for the next sale, then we'll buy. Do you worry about that?
That's a really great point. So with sales, most of the time I'll try and do some type of different spin off to it. So it's always different each time. It's never the same exact sale that they're getting. So maybe it's not even 10%. It's 10% last time, but it's 15% this time, but it's going to go back to 10% next time. So you always want to keep people on their toes,
Got it.
Even if you're offering some type of additional service to your offers. So let's say you don't want to offer a discount right now because times are just too tough. You need to add some type of extra CBD mask at the end.
Okay. Extra value, right? Yeah. Bonus items.
Exactly. That would be another time that I would probably say, do you need this service? Because we have this extra value added to it, no charge,
Got it. Yeah. Do you see, or do you do a lot of items for almost like a lost leader, kind of like you see at the grocery store, oh yeah, a dozen eggs for $1.50, and then you go in, you get the egg, you're like, hey, I need all these other things. Do you look at that too? You run the promo, and that promo is just so cheap or so low in price that you're breaking even. You're not making any money, but you're able to get a client, and from there you can upsell.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice, especially for people that are really working in-house. That's why it's so important for you to know your product and know what you have, so that when they come to you, maybe you're doing a service. Okay, well, I see, here you're drying a little bit. Why don't we give you a few masks that you can put on at multiple at a time for different pain points on your skin? Really customize it to the client. They're going to seriously take that to the next level. If you're customizing it to them, feel super special. So once you know your product and you're able to give them something that may be able to really, change their skin or whatever issue they may be having, then they're also going to refer you to other people. So it's all this type of hopefully they refer you, but it's all this type of game, that you kind of have to play as a business owner. How much free value can I give without giving too much, but still getting something back? And that all comes out to I think, really just testing it out along the way, because
Yeah.
we've all made mistakes. We've all broken even, it hasn't worked out at times. But there's every time you do it, you're learning something. And I know from experience, I've had launches that we just get nobody,
Yeah, there's a little depressing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hate to say that out loud, but it's the truth, I won't lie.
Yeah, that's reality. You can't have a
Yeah.
home run every time. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
And with everything going on too, like if you're able to customize or even give somebody that voice memo versus just texting them, it means so much more, because human connection is really lacking right now. Even though we're all able to Zoom still, it still is really hard. People feel lonely. Their whole lives have changed overnight. So
yeah, I love that. So yeah, just try to connect with people as closely as possible. So having these unique custom touch points, which yes, it sounds like a lot of work, which it is more work, but your return will be worth it, especially in the beginning, right? Because you need to build that snowball, right? Or start that train, right? It takes a little bit to move, but then once you get it moving, it'll be a lot smoother. Right?
Definitely. Yeah. Like a year in now, because we worked with those people, maybe we give them a lot of free value. Like we did a lot of phone calls, during COVID as well, just offer advice. And now those clients are coming back, they're ready, they're excited. And even some that we might have met, 10 months ago have now signed on for packages. So you just never know what's going to happen. Every person that you meet could be a new potential client.
I love it. Love it. So I guess, is there any other like tips? I know we can talk all day, for hours about this, but any last final tips before we wrap up?
Yeah, so the one thing I just want to mention, for anybody that's looking for some free value as well, we practice what we preach. And every Thursday, we put out a new video for tips for business owners. So head over to my Instagram account. It's Meraki_media_management. Follow me, even send me a DM. I'll follow you back. Just let me know where you found me from. And that would be amazing. Check out my tips. There's tons of information on there for across the whole year we've been doing this. We haven't missed one Thursday. So
yeah, that's consistency. That's the key. Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for being on the show. I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot. I've personally learned a lot. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh yeah, of course. No, thank you so much. This was fantastic. I feel like I really got jazzed up for the day. So excited.
This is great.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time. Bye. I'm David. My team and I created a website kit for fellow entrepreneurs looking to grow their business online, whether it's e-commerce or a service-based business. We've got you covered. This will also help us continue our webcasts and provide valuable knowledge to countless beauty entrepreneurs watching. For more details, check out our website kits at beautybiz.info/website kits. If you like the videos that we make, you can support us by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Thanks. We'll see you next time.